Hello Reddit. So I'm making this video about the Elder Scrolls Online, the recently revealed information about their revenue streams. So you've got the box model, which would be $60. I'm assuming, probably $1 million here in Australia. We love paying lots and lots of money for software for some reason. And then you've got the box model comes with 30 free days included, which is pretty much the norm in MMOs. Then you've got the subscription model, which is €12.99 a month, which probably translates to around $14.99 for Australians. I have no idea what it is for Americans. Sorry, Americans. And then you've got the item shop. A lot of people seem really pissed off about the item shop, and I'm not 100% sure why. It makes complete sense to me, and I'll explain why later on. So yeah, a lot of people are pissed off not only at the item shop but also at the subscription model. And I want to cover why exactly I think free-to-play is shit, why the subscription model is superior, and why I'm not mad about the item shop. So why is free-to-play shit? I'm going to use an example that I think fits perfectly. RuneScape. Everyone laughs at once. Get it? Yep, cool. RuneScape, in 2006 at least, I haven't played the game for years, but they had a premium servers and free servers. And to anyone who's played RuneScape before, especially on both sides of the spectrum, I played for ages on the free side and I played for ages on the premium side. And this is what I found, at least. On the free side, you have a low barrier to entry. Pretty much you need an internet connection and an internet browser. Literally anyone can play the game. Which is bad for a lot of reasons, because you get a lot of young kids who are total assholes. For some reason, these young kids haven't learned not to be assholes yet, and I think they learn it later on in their teenage years. But still, yeah, a lot of them are little assholes for some reason. I have no idea why. And then there's just assholes in general. And it seems to be more prevalent on free-to-play games, in my experience at least. Like, the asshole to normal person ratio in Star Wars: The Old Republic has grown exponentially. To a point where I just don't even go on the game anymore. Like, you don't even talk on the general chat, because you're just going to get, oh, you're a faggot, or something like that straight away, or, you know, someone slept with my mum. It's just also the bot problem. In RuneScape, if you went to a tree, for instance, if you were chopping down a tree, and sorry, someone just liked a Facebook comment. You're chopping down a tree, and there'd be literally thousands or hundreds or tens, or whatever, of botters around the tree. And you knew they were botters because they never responded, and they always had that greeny brownie shirt on with the green pants and the goatee and the bald head. So you knew they were botters off the start, like straight off the bat. But it was something you had to live with, and there were heaps of them. As soon as I switched to a premium service, the botters were about a quarter, or not even a quarter, of what they once were. So this shows to me that there's a barrier of entry for botters, which is obvious. I mean, if something's going to be free, you can just send everything you have. You just set it up on your computer, get the bot going, sign up for different accounts, and the bot goes. You know, you just have to do a little bit of setup. Right? It requires no financial investment. Whereas with a subscription-based game, RuneScape, for instance, what they would have to do is sign up for an account, and then they would have to pay to become a member, right? And once they become a member, well, they obviously have to give financial details. A lot of the time, they provided, you know, fraudulent credit cards. To do it, because I think there was a limit on the amount of accounts you could set up with just one credit card. Like, if you set up 100 accounts with one credit card, a bit of a problem, which means it limited the independent person's ability to create massive bot armies. It obviously didn't limit the ability for, you know, like Chinese gold farmers and that. It didn't limit their ability, because they have, you know, resources of which they can exploit to create massive amounts of bots, but it was easier for them just to go to a free world and exploit that, and then use maybe a meal to get the money over. I don't know. This was before the Grand Exchange, where bots were a massive, massive problem. So yeah, that's my two main reasons. Two of my three main reasons. A shit community full of little dickheads and people who are just assholes because there's really no punishment for it. You get no customer support coming around banning these people on a good enough time schedule. Like, there's not people dedicated to it like they have in World of Warcraft. A GM will just appear and he will ban you for a couple of days. You have to wait days to make complaints about these people, and sometimes it just sucks going on general chat. And then the second is gold farmers and botters in general. People who exploit the community and just make the game shit. They just destroy the economy. And they just make it unrealistic for new players to be able to buy anything. So those are my two first gripes. My third gripe is where the development resources go. With a subscription model, it's going to the development of new patches and new content, because obviously for the subscription model, they want people to keep on playing. Because if people keep on playing, that means that they keep on making money. With an item shop, at least I know with Star Wars: The Old Republic, what happened was when they started losing money and they were like, "Oh shit, we're not making the money we thought we were going to," they fired a good amount of their staff members, the development staff. I think like maybe a quarter or half are left or something like that. And it goes to show, like, I think a lot of those staff members are actually just making item shop stuff a lot of the time. Like, they're devoting a lot of their time. Like, I'm sure that not 100% of their time is devoted to making item shop items, but they're dividing their time between making item shop items and new content, and with only half to a quarter of the original team. That it's shit. And I don't understand why anyone would want a free-to-play model. It doesn't make... Maybe if you didn't have the resources in which to actually pay the subscription fee, but to me, $15 a month isn't a lot of money. It turns out to be $3.70 a week. I know for a fact that I play World of Warcraft about at least 2 hours a day. Doing dailies and that. So that's 2 hours a day times 7. That's 14 hours every week for $3.70. A comparison would be going to see a movie for 2 hours, and that's a long movie, and spending $16 on a ticket. It's $16 for a ticket over here in Australia, depending if you got a concession card or not. I don't. So it's a lot of value for money for me, a subscription fee. And you've got to remember that you're not just paying for new patches and content. A lot of people just don't remember that for some reason. You're paying for server infrastructure, you're paying for customer support, you're paying for anti-botting tools, so like tools that they regularly update to combat automated botting, and you don't see it in World of Warcraft. You don't, oh wow, these anti-botting tools they're going really good. You don't see bots in World of Warcraft a lot, because the bots that are in the game are so advanced to not get caught by Warden that they're pretty lifelike, and they don't ruin your gaming experience. Like, I remember going through a couple of MMOs back in the day, like Knights Online, where the person they'd have a crossbow and they'd shoot and kill one mob, and then immediately just spin around and start shooting at another mob, and that went free to play as well, or it was free to play, and then you had like a store, or you bought credits or something. I forget how that worked. But yeah, and they just immediately turned around and started shooting, and that just kills your immersion, and you start to realize that most of or a lot of the players in these games are actually bots, and it's just, you think, why bother? Well, to me, I think why bother? Because I want an immersive game. In an MMO experience, I want immersion, and I want a nice community. I want good updates, and that's everything that a subscription-based game would give to me. So yeah, going to the benefits of the subscription, and not just saying what I hate about free-to-play. So subscription, you get constant stream of updates most of the time. Sometimes, like for the first couple of months, you'll find that the devs are fixing problems that they didn't get to during the development. This can be for various reasons. The server load, the amount of people, like a build-up. So fixes we don't even see. So just because we're not getting new patches and new updates doesn't mean they're not doing anything. A lot of these initial fixes are to make the game more enjoyable for you. Like, these are fixes that they have to make, and for some reason people are so needy when it comes to MMOs. It's like MMOs are with the needy boyfriends or the needy girlfriends, wanting to know where the MMO is at all constant times of the day, so you get constant updates, you get excellent customer support or good customer support. A lot of the times you don't get good customer support, but you still get like a good representation. For instance, with World of Warcraft, you can get a GM most of the time. Like, there are times when they take a while to respond, but they're serving millions of people. But yeah, like you get a good customer service team. You get that don't have to deal with thousands and thousands of free-to-play characters who can just delete their accounts. Like, imagine the difficulty that would create, where you have James being a dickhead to Michael, and so you finally get in game after you've dealt with all of these other problems with other players. So you go, James, stop being a dickhead, I'm muting you for a day. Right? So James goes, fuck that, logs out, creates a new account, comes back into the game, calls Michael a dickhead again. That just adds to the queue. Or what about with guilds, when the guilds give the ability to take out funds, and it just creates so many different issues. When people can just create a new account out of thin air and just come back and be a dick again, like you've got to put some barrier to entry, whether it be, and I find because obviously you can't ask people for their driver's licenses or something, so obviously a bit of a financial subscription is good. So another thing is there's less botters, because obviously the botters have to pay a subscription fee in the box price for a game. Like, for instance, your barrier to entry to begin botting in Star Wars: The Old Republic would be going on the website, signing up for your first account, and then paying for the botting software. That would be your barrier to entry. So you pretty much log in, and I'm assuming you could just start botting. Like, it would just kill mobs and then move to the next area, and then move to the next area, and move to the next area, and then so on. It would be relatively easy. And then for the second account, you just have to put a proxy in place, or a VPN or something. You can use various online servers, like VPS servers, and even dedicated servers, and then just spread it around. So you can have a whole army of botters, like 100 different accounts, and all it would take is your time, a subscription fee to the botting software. Depending on the botting software, I don't know what it is for Star Wars: The Old Republic. I guess maybe you would have to pay a license for 100, and the amount of money those bots would be making, I'm sure it would cover the botting license. If you're willing to make 100 accounts, then you know what you're doing. So really, all you're doing is spending your time, your bot subscription, and the subscription to your dedicated servers and your VPSs. So it lowers the admission to the game a lot, like a massive amount. Like, it just lowers it to the point where it's not even an issue. Like, if you've got enough determination, you want to make 1,000 accounts, you could probably do it. and make money off of it, you can probably do it. Not a problem. Whereas a premium subscription, you got to pay $14.99 a month per account. So that account has to be making that money, right? And you've got to actually buy the physical box copy. Like to get into botting on World of Warcraft, or good enough botting, you would have to get up to the latest expansion. So that would probably cost you about $60. And then, because remember, you can't go on the AH with the trial. There are a lot of limitations, smart limitations that they put in to purposely stop people from using trial accounts to bot. Okay, so it's $60 straight off the bat. I don't even think you get a free month anymore with WoW. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure you don't. So you've got to pay the first month as well. So $60 and then $15. It's $75 just to get one bot up and running. One bot. $75. Now you can do it cheaper than that, of course, like when they have their deals, like I think they have deals on Cataclysm now, so it might not even be that much, but that is a lot. You're not going to start an army unless you're serious about gold farming, like in level training and that. You're not going to start an army unless you're really serious, and it raises the barrier to entry, so only the really professional gold farming services can get a start in it. So yeah, I think I've covered everything that I like. So you got no gold farmers. You get constant patches, less dickhead, like better customer support. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. Now I'm going to cover the item shop and why I think it's a really good idea and people should be excited, or rather not excited, but more accepting of an item shop in Elder Scrolls Online. So they've pretty much said that character fun items and services like renaming your character. So obviously, you have services like renaming your character, you have your appearance changes, and maybe a race change or something like that. Hello, they're available in almost every other game, and they also cost money in every other game. I'm going to use World of Warcraft as an example. So to rename your character on World of Warcraft, you pay like $15 or something. I think it's $15 in order to rename your character. To change your character's model, I realize you can change your hair in a barbershop. That's cool, but like to actually change your face and shit like that, you have to pay like $15 as well. I think it is. I think you can do a little trick or something with the name change or something like that, and it allows you to change your name as well if you're changing your face. And then a race change is like $20, and then a faction change is like $25, and that's already included in there. And there was a little bit of controversy when those things came out, because really it should just be a flip of the switch, but you don't really hear about that anymore. And it's the same in even Star Wars Online, like Star Wars The Old Republic Online. In order to get a race change, you have to go to that little fucking face thing, and then you got to pay either credits, which is a bullshit amount of credits, or you pay with the in-game coins. So you're pretty much using money to do it anyway, just a lower amount of money, because, yeah, they want more people buying it. I guess they don't want to do it unless you really want to do it, because it might create conflicts in the system with WoW, So these are all services we already have. I do believe that they're going to eventually allow us to change our hairstyles in Elder Scrolls Online for free. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But I think the issue comes from getting the infrastructure there to do it. I don't think it's easy, because if it was so easy to get that infrastructure within a game, why wouldn't most games just release with it? Why didn't Star Wars The Old Republic just release with it? Why didn't The Secret World release with it? Why didn't World of Warcraft release with it? Because I don't think it's that easy to get it in game, and I think it can create problems, because not every transition is smooth, and it's especially back in the day, I think it was it took hours and hours for it to happen. So obviously something has to happen server side. It transitions really good in Star Wars The Old Republic. That's the only game I've seen it like race changes and that transition that well, and they've developed around that because they know they're going to make money from it, or a good amount of money from it. But whereas I don't think Blizzard really care that much. Like it's a revenue stream for them, but yeah. So obviously we're going to get like services like that, and like for it to be available in the item shop within the game, it's just changing it from having it on a website to having it within the game. Who cares? Like, that makes it easier. If I want to change my name in game, I don't have to fucking open Battle.net and type in my name and fucking password 1,000 million times because they don't allow you to save passwords, and then, you know, fuck around on there and get that all sorted when I can just press a button, you know? If I learn, you know, that if I come up with the name Queef, for instance, and I find out that it means, you know, a vagina fart, then, yeah, and I didn't know that when I made the name, I can just go into the item shop, press a button, and then change my name. Who cares, you know? And it says character fun items as well, like fun items. Fun items, like it's such an elusive term, like what defines fun? For me, you know, buying a helicopter with an Apache helicopter in an Elder Scrolls game would be fun to me, but I'm assuming it's just going to be pets, hats, fireworks, shit like that. Like shit I would never buy, and I probably will not spend a single dime in the item shop, and I don't normally. Like I don't think I've ever spent any money in an item shop in a game I've ever played. It's called having willpower. You know, just because I don't like something doesn't mean it doesn't have to be in the game. You know, if you know, it's stupid. I don't know why people are so pissed off about having an item shop. Like, so the fuck what? You know, new hairstyles. Okay. Well, I would maybe get a little bit pissed off at new hairstyles because that should kind of be covered within the content. But you know, like new hairstyles aren't usually released in patches anyway. Normally, it's like new dungeons and new areas to explore, not new hairstyles. And you've got to think that Elder Scrolls is competing against a massive opponent, World of Warcraft. Like, World of Warcraft has been the reigning champ for years, and then they're competing against Guild Wars, a game where you just need to buy the box and then you're good to play, which we all, like, shit. Guild Wars 2 is shit, because it's got a shittish community, you know? I mean, it has, like, a box price, you know, so, like, a barrier to entry. So it follows the box price model, but shit. They're finally getting to content releases, which is good, you know, like, and they have fixed introduced a lot of things to the game, but I just don't like it. It just feels tacky for some reason. I guess I'm just going on a tangent here, but you know, like, yeah, like I don't get the whole kerfuffle is about the whole, you know, the item shop. Like, it's just going to be pets, you know? And since it's going up against, Guild Wars, World of Warcraft, what other new ones being? WildStar, which is also going on a subscription model. I wonder why. Oh, what? Because it fucking works. It works. It's a working model. And they all want it to work. I don't think they want to switch to a free-to-play model. But you know what? Being able to in the future, that's a business decision. The length of time Star Wars The Old Republic Online took to switch to free-to-play, and the amount of revenue they lost when they could have just switched a button straight away, or, you know, spent a week on doing it. You know, of course, they're investors and the high-ups in the company. It's a business. These aren't, it's not like Gandhi's sitting down and saying, you know, I'm going to create a game for the betterment of humankind. They're here to make money. And while they might want to make an amazing game, they want to cover their asses as well. $100 million is a lot of money. And a company losing $100 million, like, Star Wars The Old Republic Online must have been a massive hit for EA. Because they lost so much money, and they've learnt from that. Elder Scrolls Online has learnt from that. And so they're probably putting an item shop in there just in case. They're getting the infrastructure in there just in case. And can you blame them? Like, can you really blame them for putting the infrastructure in there just in case? I don't mind, honestly, because I think Elder Scrolls Online is going to work. Because I think when you are combining both streams of revenue, so not only your subscription, but also fun little items, it's adding up to the revenue stream. And they're going to need that money to stay afloat for the first couple of months. Because the first couple of the months, especially the first month, is going to be where, they need to invest in just chucking development into new shit, and fixing bugs in that. And I think they're totally going to need that money to stand against World of Warcraft because, obviously they're going to release new things for WoW just to be a pain in the ass. They always do around the end of the year, release like new patches and new content. So, yeah, because it's to compete because they're a business also. So my thoughts are a bit everywhere, but I wanted to talk about how item shops don't need to be bad. Subscriptions don't need to be bad. In fact, I'm happy subscriptions are coming back because it means I can get and play quality games again. Because these past couple of MMOs have been shit. Just completely terrible. Fun for the first week or so, and then you realise that they're all developed around the cash shop. Everything's developed around them. And can you really blame them? It's their only way of making money. They're not a charity. Maybe charities should start making games. Just make enough money to keep the game going. But unfortunately, these games, these big budget games, can only be created by big publishers because a lot goes into the development, the buying of the infrastructure. It's not a peer-to-peer system. You're running off servers here. And when you're talking with the amount of people that are going to be signing up for the Elder Scrolls Online, you have to have a massive infrastructure to start out with. Otherwise, people aren't going to be able to play the game. Like, even Diablo 3 had that issue. They just did not have the resources available. Even it was Blizzard. They released a game and people couldn't even log on. People didn't want to play anymore because they just couldn't log on the first day. So, yeah, stop being so critical of games with subscription model. If that's something you don't want to, pay as much as a burger, like once a week, to have hours and hours worth of entertainment, then don't do it. But you try and tell me another form of entertainment that you can get that doesn't include walking and looking around at shit for free, and as much as it repetitively as you can as an MMO. You try and tell me what other things are. Like, I know obviously downloading movies and shit for free, and downloading games for free, you could probably get the same consistent value for money, but anything that requires money to be exchanged for the experience, please provide me with other examples because I can't think of any. I think MMOs are an excellent value for money. You can create enduring relationships with people online and have so much fun. And for I'd even pay $30 a month. Honestly, I would. I think the higher the price goes, the higher quality of the community in general. And in summary, I'm not scared of an item shop. I couldn't give two shits because I'm not going to buy anything from it. And yeah, if that's the way that they're going to go, if people just don't buy shit from the item shop or only buy one or two things, because you don't have to buy anything from it. Stop being an asshole. Just being an asshole.